What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Joseph. Welcome to another episode of Comic Breakdowns. Today, we are talking about Dungeons of Doom. If you have not been reading the Marvel books as of late, Doctor Doom has died, basically, and he has this whole dungeon, mysterious area hidden from everybody with all kind of objects in it that everyone's fighting for right now. But before we get into the actual episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about some required reading or just some suggested reading before you read Dungeons of Doom. All right, we're going to start with an event that happened last year called Marvel Blood Hunt. So, Blood Hunt was a 5 issue miniseries that happened last summer where a possessed Blade went about and took over the Marvel Universe and was killing a whole bunch of people and actually bringing vampires to the light of day. So, vampires were getting ready to rule over all of the earth with the help from the Dark Force energy, which some of you may or may not know comes from characters such as Cloak as well as Silhouette from the New Warriors that utilizes the Dark Force energy. So in this issue, Doctor Strange had come up with the way he thought would be able to defeat the vampires. And then we see Blade do one of the most egregious things I ever seen in a comic book, is which he attacked Doctor Doom. Once again, this is a possessed Blade, not in his right mind, and he cut him in half and turned him into a vampire so he couldn't use his Sorcerer Supreme powers. As a result, Doctor Strange had to revert to being his astral form. And during that time, Doom stepped in and told him, I'm the only one who knows enough about mysticism and all the magic who would be able to help you all. So he willingly gave over his Sorcerer Supreme rights to Doctor Doom, which then led to Doctor Doom becoming the new Sorcerer Supreme, which also led to the new book, One World Under Doom. In that 9 issue series, Doctor Doom proceeded to use all his magic and his influence to take over the world, and everybody kind of opposed him, but some people started believing him. And what ended up happening was that Valeria, his goddaughter, which is Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic's daughter, was the only one he would confide in. And in an act of rage, he accidentally killed her, and he had to make amends for that. So he had a way to bring her back by using the magic, but he also had to sacrifice himself. And during that time, when he did this in the series, that led to him leaving something behind for Reed Richards to look at. This resulted in the last will and testament of Doctor Doom, which was engraved in his mask. So from there, we get a one-shot called The Will of Doom, which kind of decrees who would get everything that he owned. Of course, Doom left everything to his goddaughter, Valeria Richards, as he kind of disappeared and kind of sacrificed himself to the living tribunal to save Valoria's life. So this was written by Chip Zdarsky, excellent writer. So I'll let you go ahead and check out that little recap, and that leads us directly into the Dungeons of Doom. Now we have different warring factions fighting for all the things Doom hid in his dungeon. Now let's get into it. Our story begins in Latveria, once called the Jewel of the Balkans, a place of mirth, culture, and natural beauty. In modern times, it holds less flattering titles. The Monster's Den, the Iron Jewel, Doom's Shadow. And you can see these different warring factions fighting for Doom's dungeon. Victor Von Doom is dead. His strongholds lie empty. His people are leaderless. Allies, rivals, enemies, and vassals alike scramble to gather up his leavings. But who can know what secret treasures Doom was hiding within its walls? We now cut to the battlefield where Latvian soldiers are fighting against other people from the West and other countries to battle over Doom's treasures. As I was saying, we now have Hydra soldiers leading an aerial assault. We got some of Doom's freedom fighters going against Doom's reign. And then we have his loyal subjects that kind of are guarding the tower itself. So all these different factions are fighting. And then finally we see America jumping into the fray under the leadership of the Red Hulk, who also has his own agenda of finding out what's in Doom's dungeon. We next get a quick synopsis of what's going on. Dr. Doom has fallen, leaving the nation of Latveria once under Doom's control, now in the state of chaos. But the state of Latveria wasn't the only thing Doom kept in his possession. Doom's secrets and artifacts once hidden are now ripe for the taking. Chapter 1, The Whisper Man. So after the Red Hawk kind of smashed through everything, we see some soldiers who have been sunken down into like the lower depths of Doom's dungeon, and they're kind of separated from General Ross. And they're checking on the comms to see if he's still around, if they can communicate, but it seems like they can't contact each other. And so they're like, well, we got to find a way out of here. Let's go ahead and search for that now. The soldiers soon realize they're deeper than anything their intel has ever told them, and they got to find a way out. One of them realizes that there's a door up ahead, and he's like, look, and the door is broken. Like, let's go in here. This may be our exit out of here. And it says, "Hello, is anyone down here?" What the soldiers find is unimaginable. They see body parts, different clocks, animal parts, and they see this body or carcass of a man that's been broken. And they get a psychic message saying, "This is the voice of Professor Charles Xavier. If you are hearing this message, you have tripped a proximity alarm. Turn back. This room was never meant to be open. It holds an organism beyond your comprehension, a mutant who should have never been born." Then they show like the back of this corpse's head, and you see this device with the X symbol on it and all this like clockwork, steampunk kind of, crazy mechanics going on in this person. Like, what is this? And the fact that it was so important that Professor X said, "Yo, this person should never have been woken up," this is a serious problem. And my question, why did he entrust this to Dr. Doom of all people? Our story jumps to chapter 2, the Latvian freedom fighters. We see people buried in the rubble, and we see them helping each other out, kind of checking to make sure they're okay, and they sound like we're lucky to get out of here. Some of us made it, but not all of us did. And then we run into a Hydra agent that's been buried by the rubble. And he's like, "Why are you here? Like, you don't even know what you're guarding, do you? Like, but you're about to find out." And he attempts to kill one of the Latvian soldiers, and he actually assassinates him instead. And like, well, where are we? We got to get out of here. Like, where do we go when we're nowhere? You just need to make sure we find out. This place is a death trap. And then the commander's kind of say, "Remember your identity. We fight on behalf of Doom, so we need to make sure we're holding up to those standards." At this point, the soldiers are like, "Well, what do we do?" And the commander says, "Well, since we couldn't defend this place, we now have to strategize about our chances of getting out. None of us can take on the Hulk. But the good thing is that when Doom had this place built, he killed all the engineers and the construction workers, but not before they can leak out some intel about like the map and how this place was designed." The commander tells him this is the Crypt of Monsters, a place where terrors are buried, but it's also a shortcut. Like, if we can get through these passages, it'll lead us back to where we need to go. Like, we talked about this before, how can we use this in our fight for Latveria? But I want you to pay attention to the sarcophagus. You see like an eye of Agamotto and like a world tree, like the Yajiro world tree as well on it. But they're not sure what it is. Like, open this up. Like, one guy's question, "I don't think we should be doing this." And then if they do, some gas starts to leak out. We now see this multi-eyed monster, like multi-limbed monster come out, and they're trying to fight it off, but it's too late. It's like, it's impossible. And then its veins or extremities go into this one soldier and just corrupt him and drain some of his life force, what it looks like, and leaves him as a husk on the ground. We next get some intel on the remaining soldiers. It said the scars they carry that will never heal. Boris watched his parents be electrocuted by Doombots. Fyodor was tortured. Sophia spent most of her childhood in a work camp. That's where her jaw was torn off and replaced with scrap Doombots. And Alexander, he lost his sister. And he seems to see a ghostly image of her that's leading him somewhere. However, we don't know if we can trust this image. They then open up another crypt with this mysterious symbol on them, and he's like, "I know this is the right way. I trust this. This is the way we need to go. I promise you." And it leads them to like this watery area, and they have no choice in order to escape this terrifying monster but to go into this watery crypt. Our story then skips again to chapter 3, and it comes to an open with these Hydra agents that are waking up who survived the attack. And said, "What was that?" And they hear something like, "I don't know, light your light up. Let me see what's going on." And they do, and they just see dead bodies collapsed all around them. And they said, "Wait a minute, I think his back is broken." He's like, "Get off of me, I can't move." He's barely talking. He's been crushed by everything that's around him. And they said, "There's some kind of fuel in here and it's leaking. I need you all to help me get out of here. Like, keep that fire away." And the fire the fuel leaks down, and it causes a small little ignition light. Like, I'm trying to help, but he's just dead waiting. He's like screaming and panicking. You see, we need to put him out of his memory. What use could he possibly be? And then they see something like, good God. The Hydra agents seem to be in some kind of lower level of the dungeon, and one of them notices an anvil and he's like, "What's that on there?" And the other one says, "It's just an old hammer," and he tries to lift it, but he said it's too heavy, you can't make it budge. And I want you to pay attention, because the hammer looks like the original hammer of Thor from Norse mythology, not the one in the Marvel Universe. The agents are now arguing about how to get out of there. Like, what are we going to do? We can't just leave our comrade here. And one guy's like, "Just leave him. He's worthless now. He's injured. He can't do anything." And so one tries moving the door. He says, "It's immovable. I suppose we could try to break through it." And the guy's just moaning. He's like, Thro's just trying to say something. Like, what is he trying to say? Like, I have something to say to him as well. And then the guy with the mark on his face just kills him point blank because he can't take his pain and him in front of him any longer. Like, this is just enough. this is what he has to do because there's no way out for this guy. He can't be healed. He can't be helped. He's just going to slow us down. One of the agents says, you didn't have to do that. He's like, your objection is noted. Like, pick up the stone and let's work on that. Like, did one of you say something? He think he hears a voice. He's like, what? No. Like, I thought I heard a voice saying what exactly? It's like, it was only a whisper. It sounded like Worthy. And we see this agent who just killed his comrade pick up the hammer and it starts to light up. So I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is about, but I am completely intrigued and want to know what's really going on here. Our story then closes out with the last faction fighting against Doom, Chapter 4, the Wakanda. Like, he flies at night. In Wakanda, they call him Umbra. Since the fall of Doom, Liberia has descended into chaos, a war zone of competing forces. Wakanda wants a piece of the land, resources, wealth, and power. But Umbra is not Wakanda, even if he is here at their behest. He wants only one thing, one small thing, and then he will be on his way. His king might be the Black Panther, but he acts alone as he serves another. So I'm like, who is this guy working for? So this guy lands on Castle Doom, makes his way into the inside, and then he hears a voice. It says, you have fallen through the overdark Umbra. Now you must descend through the underdark of the dungeons. There our treasure awaits. Like, who was he communicating to? I thought this was like somebody that worked for Black Panther, but apparently he is on an opposing side. So I don't know who this guy is, what his true goal is, or who is he answering to. And finally, we get to see. This entity tells him to kill all who stand in your way. And he says, yes, Nagaku. The Dungeons of Doom have been quiet for a long time. They welcome these visitors, who must now survive the shadows without and within. I'm thinking, who is Nagaku? And apparently he is a bat deity in the Marvel Universe that has made his first appearance here. He is like what Bass is to Black Panther. Since this Umbra guy is like a reverse Black Panther, he has a darker entity with a stealth suit that's different. And I love what Marvel has been doing lately by providing us with all these new avatars to these traditional deities in the Marvel Universe. Just like how we've recently had a new character come out called Hunter's Moon, who is the other fist of Khonshu. Like, Moon Knight has always been the fist, right? But that's one. He always has two fists, right? So the other fist is called Hunter's Moon. Also, in Daredevil, when Daredevil became a god, he had this all-white suit. He created this force that, well, he didn't create it, but he helped bring about this force back together, which is the opposite of the hand, called the fist, who was meant to destroy the hand. Like, this is another group that has not been heard of in the past, but now is in the full light of day. And then finally, Miles Morales being the avatar of Anansi the Spider. So all this is really great. Let me know what you think. If I made it make sense, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to know when new content drops just like this. And I will catch you next time. Peace.
I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow. I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow. I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow.
If you don't have it, you are truly missing out.
What's up? I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow. I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow. I'm your host Joseph. Fiction Ink Flow.
If you don't have it, you are truly missing out.
What's up? We are talking about Fiction Ink Flow. What's up?
If you don't have it, you are truly missing
Fiction
out.
Ink Flow. What's up? We are talking about Fiction Ink Flow. What's up?
If you don't have it, you are truly missing
Fiction
out.
Ink Flow. What's up? We are talking about Fiction Ink Flow. What's up?
If you don't have it, you are truly missing
Fiction
out.
Ink Flow. What's up? We are talking about Fiction Ink Flow. What's up?
If you don't have it, you are truly missing
Fiction
out.
Ink Flow.